On his second day of Bangladesh visit, Prime Minister Modi to meet his Bangladesh counterpart Sheikh Hasina and hold bilateral talks. Prime Minister to also visit Jaishankar and Orakandi temples. Earlier, PM Modi and Bangladesh Foreign Minister discuss various issues including corona vaccine. Leaders of various political parties also call on PM Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attends Bangladesh National Day celebrations. As guest of honour on first day of his two-day visit, confers 2020 Gandhi Peace Prize posthumously on Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Says both countries have a shared heritage and their targets, opportunities and developments are also shared. Voting begins for first phase of polls in Assam and West Bengal today. Votes will be cast for 47 seats in 12 districts of Assam and 30 seats in 5 districts of West Bengal. Election Commission makes elaborate arrangements in keeping with COVID protocols. Five states, Maharashtra, Punjab, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh and Gujarat report surge in daily new COVID cases. Maharashtra announces night curfew across the state from Sunday as daily cases in state reach 36,000. More than 5.5 crore vaccine doses administered across the country. World observes Earth Hour today. Event urges people across the world to switch off their lights for 1 hour at 8:30 in the night to sensitize people about climate crisis. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukmaina. Top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on his first foreign visit since the COVID pandemic. The visit to neighbouring Bangladesh not only commemorates 50 years of its independence, but also 50 years of diplomatic ties between India and Bangladesh. On the second day of his visit, Prime Minister Modi will meet Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and hold bilateral talks. Several agreements are expected to be signed between the two countries following the talks. Areas covered are likely to be disaster management, trade, cultural cooperation, health, railways and others. Earlier, Foreign Minister of Bangladesh A.K. Abdul Momen called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday. The leaders reflected on fraternal ties and the all-encompassing partnership India-Bangladesh share based on sovereignty, equality, trust and understanding that transcends a strategic partnership. Connectivity and India's gift of the coronavirus vaccine came up during the discussions. Day 2 of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's two-day visit will begin with him offering prayers at the Jaishankar Kali temple. He will also address members of the Matua community later in the day.
Golden chapter of a deep and strong relationship both the nations share, strengthened not just by the efforts being made by the governments but also the outcome of religious, cultural, linguistic and people-to-people contact. The temple connect between India and Bangladesh is one such indelible link. After all, East Bengal, today's Bangladesh and West Bengal are historically connected. The Jaishankar Kali temple is amongst the 51 Shaktipeeths holding great religious value for pilgrims. Prime Minister will offer prayers at this temple dedicated to Goddess Kali, which is amongst the 6 Shaktipeeths in Bangladesh.
In 16th century, Raja Pratapaditta, one of the Barabhuya, he renovated this temple, and from that time this Jaishankar Mandir is very much important.
People from a cross-section of religions come to pray at the Jaishankar Kali temple, which further strengthens cultural ties between the two nations.
Harmony in between the Muslim and Hindu community are very peaceful. You will be glad to know my father was Anchal Pradhan, that means chairman of this area during the period of liberation war, and he kept priest for puja for this mandir.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also offer prayers at the temple of the Motua community in Orakandi. Members of the Motua community consider this temple as one of their holiest shrines. He will later interact with members of the Motua community and address a public meeting here. Strengthening cultural ties, Prime Minister visited temples during his 2015 Bangladesh visit. PM took blessings of Goddess Kali and visited Ramakrishna Mutt in Dhaka during the trip. With inputs from Ramesh Ramachandran and Rajesh Jha in Dhaka, Bureau Report, DD India.
The Prime Minister conferred the 2020 Gandhi Peace Prize posthumously to Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's younger daughter, Sheikh Rehana, on day one of his Bangladesh visit. He also inaugurated a Bangabandhu Bapu exhibition. We tell you more in this report.
Dressed in a Mujib jacket, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Dhaka to celebrate the Mujib Borsho, the birth centenary celebrations of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The Prime Minister's visit to Bangladesh also marks the 50th Independence Day celebrations of the neighbouring country. Honouring Bangabandhu's contribution in building the firm bond between the two countries, India conferred the Gandhi Peace Prize for the year 2020 posthumously on Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Prime Minister Modi handed over the coveted prize to Sheikh Rehana, the younger daughter of the late Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, in the presence of his elder daughter, the present Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, at the parade ground in Dhaka.
हम भारतवासियों के लिए गौरव की बात है कि हमें शेख मुजीबुर रहमान जी को गांधी शांति सम्मान देने का अवसर मिला. I express sincere thanks to the Government of India for awarding the Gandhi Peace Prize 2020 to Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman posthumously in recognition of his outstanding contributions towards social, economic and political transformation through non-violent and other Gandhian methods.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi described Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman as a man who championed the causes of human rights and welfare of all.
यहाँ के लोगों और हम भारतीयों के लिए आशा की किरण थे बंगबंधु शेख मुजीबुर रहमान. बंगबंधु के हौसले ने, उनके नेतृत्व ने ये तय कर दिया था कि कोई भी ताकत बांग्लादेश को गुलाम नहीं रख सकती.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also jointly inaugurated the Bangabandhu Bapu Museum with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. It was due to the pioneering efforts of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, supported ably by the Indian Army, that the then East Pakistan was freed from the oppression and exploitation inflicted by the Pakistani military junta based in the then West Pakistan.
यहाँ के लोगों और हम भारतीयों के लिए आशा की किरण थे बंगबंधु शेख मुजीबुर रहमान. बंगबंधु के हौसले ने, उनके नेतृत्व ने ये तय कर दिया था कि कोई भी ताकत बांग्लादेश को गुलाम नहीं रख सकती.
Writing for an opinion piece titled Imagining a Different South Asia with Bangabandhu, published in the Daily Star newspaper on Friday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi wrote, "The assassination of the father of Bangladesh deprived the region of the destiny that could and should have been ours to share. As we look back on Bangabandhu's life and struggle, I ask myself, what could our subcontinent have looked like had this modern-day giant not been assassinated?" On day 2 of his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Tungipara, the ancestral home of Bangabandhu. Sheikh Mujib was buried at his ancestral estate in Tungipara near Dhaka after he was assassinated on August 15, 1975 in a military takeover. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting the Bangabandhu Mausoleum complex, where he will pay his respects to Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Bureau Report, DD India.
The National Day of Bangladesh saw different hues of celebration, nationalism and patriotism coming together under one roof. Prime Minister Modi's historic Bangladesh visit makes it even more special and dignifies the new milestone the neighbouring country countries have to achieve towards a common shared goal.
The National Day of Bangladesh was no less of a celebration for India as Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the way forward towards deeper India-Bangladesh bilateral ties. Participating in the National Day celebrations, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in rhythm with the celebratory mood of the nation. He spoke of the shared heritage and challenges both countries face in the current times.
हम दोनों ही देशों के लिए 21वीं सदी में अगले 25 वर्षों की यात्रा बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारी विरासत भी साझी है, हमारा विकास भी साझा है, हमारे लक्ष्य भी साझे हैं, हमारी चुनौतियां भी साझी हैं। हमें याद रखना है कि व्यापार और उद्योग में जहां हमारे लिए एक जैसी संभावनाएं हैं, तो आतंकवाद जैसे समान खतरे भी हैं।
On the occasion, a documentary film on Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman titled Eternal Mujib was released. The film brought back memories related to the War of Liberation. Remembering his own struggle and the role he played in Bangladesh's freedom struggle, Prime Minister Modi recalled the journey as a personal one.
बांग्लादेश की आजादी के लिए संघर्ष में, उस संघर्ष में शामिल होना मेरे जीवन के भी पहले आंदोलनों में से एक था। मेरी उम्र 20-22 साल रही होगी जब मैंने और मेरे कई साथियों ने बांग्लादेश के लोगों की आजादी के लिए सत्याग्रह किया था।
Addressing the gathering, including leaders from all over the world, President of Bangladesh Abdul Hamid thanked Prime Minister Modi for standing with Bangladesh in times of crisis, including the challenges related to the COVID-19 pandemic.
India is the closest neighbor and a trusted friend of Bangladesh. I recall with deep appreciation the unstinting moral and material support that the political leaders and the people of India extended to Bangladesh during our War of Liberation.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and Prime Minister of Britain Boris Johnson, along with several other foreign leaders, also participated in the event.
Greetings and congratulations to the government and people of Bangladesh on the 50th anniversary of their independence. The people of Bangladesh have made tremendous strides over the past 5 decades, particularly on issues of social development and disaster preparedness. I congratulate you on this progress, including your forthcoming graduation from the category of least developed countries.
It's amazing to reflect on how much your nation has achieved since the circumstance of its birth. It was the visit of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman here in 10 Downing Street in 1972 that was instrumental in forging the friendship between our countries, and I fondly recall being welcomed to Bangladesh with a great deal of warmth and generosity in 2018.
2021 also marks the golden jubilee year of India's diplomatic ties with Bangladesh. India's Prime Minister being witness to Bangladesh's golden jubilee independence celebrations stands testimony to the fact that India will always stand shoulder to shoulder with Bangladesh through its thick and thin.
Business end of the 2-day visit of Prime Minister Modi will kick in tomorrow. That is Saturday, when the two leaders, Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, meet here for bilateral talks, during which they can be expected to discuss the entire gamut, the entire range of bilateral issues and regional and global issues alike of interest to both countries. A number of MOUs could be signed towards the end of their delegation level talks, and the two leaders can also be expected to jointly inaugurate some bilateral projects. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran in Dhaka for DD India.
And back home for some poll-related news. Polling began for the first phase of assembly polls in Assam and West Bengal. In Assam, polling is being held for 47 assembly seats in the first phase. 264 candidates, including 23 women, are in the fray for the 47 assembly constituencies spread over 12 districts. Prominent among those whose fates will be decided in the first phase are BJP leader and incumbent Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, Assam Assembly Speaker Hitendra Nath Goswami, Assam Pradesh Congress Committee President Ripun Bora, many sitting and former ministers of the state. In West Bengal, 191 candidates, including 21 women, are vying for the 30 seats spread over 5 districts during the initial phase. The state is witnessing 8-phase elections this time. Over 74 lakh voters, including 36 lakh 28,000 women and 63 third gender persons, will decide the fate of these candidates. More than 8,200 polling stations have been set up in the first phase for this purpose. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has banned the conducting of any exit polls or publicizing their results between 7 a.m. this morning to 7:30 p.m. on the 29th of next month. The Commission has notified this period during which publishing or publicizing the results of exit polls by means of the print or electronic media or in any other manner will be prohibited in the ongoing assembly elections in Assam, Kerala, and the other states as well as Puducherry, where elections are to be held. And now an update on the nationwide drive of COVID-19 vaccinations. As we were telling you, the vaccination process is underway in full swing. Cumulative number of COVID vaccine doses administered in the country has crossed 5 crore 69 lakhs. A total of 5 crore 69 lakh 57,612 vaccine doses have been given as per the provisional report till Friday 7 p.m. These include over 80 lakh 66,000 healthcare workers who have taken the first dose and over 51 lakh healthcare workers who have taken the second. Over 86 lakh 79,000 frontline workers have taken the first dose, while nearly 35 lakh frontline workers have also taken the second. More than 2 crore 57 lakh beneficiaries aged more than 60 years and over 58 lakh 86,000 beneficiaries aged more than 45 years with specific comorbidities have also been vaccinated till date. A total of 14 lakh 53,172 vaccine doses have been given till Friday 7 p.m., the 70th day of the nationwide COVID-19 vaccination process. And now an update on COVID-19 situation from across the country. At present, there are 4,21,066 active COVID-19 cases in the country, which comprises 3.55% of total positive cases. India's cumulative recoveries stand at 1 crore 12 lakh 64,637, while the national recovery rate is 95.09%. 5 states, Maharashtra, Punjab, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh and Gujarat have reported a surge in daily new cases. Maharashtra continues to report the highest daily new cases. The state reports over 36,000 new cases in a single day on Friday. In view of the surge in number of COVID-19 cases, Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has rushed 2 high-level multidisciplinary teams to Chhattisgarh and Chandigarh. These teams will work with the respective states and union territory governments to ascertain the reasons for surge, assist in undertaking gap analysis and recommend requisite COVID-19 control and containment measures. The deployed teams will visit the most affected districts or hotspots in the state or union territory to take a stock of on-ground implementation of public health interventions. They will share key findings, recommendations and remedial measures to be taken up with the Chief Secretary or Chief Administrator. Chhattisgarh has recently witnessed a significant spurt in fresh COVID cases as well as new deaths every day. Chandigarh has also seen a significant surge in new cases. And in view of upcoming festivals, for instance, Holi and other festivals, the centre has asked states to take all necessary measures to regulate crowds by ensuring strict observance of COVID-appropriate behaviour. They include wearing of masks and maintaining social distance. In a letter to state chief secretaries while citing upcoming festivals including Holi, Shab-e-Barat and Easter, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla urged them to issue necessary instructions to district administrations and police authorities to scrupulously enforce COVID norms and SOPs in all public gatherings during these festivals. He also asked states to launch awareness campaigns to sensitize people in this regard. Earlier, Union Health Ministry had also advised states and union territories to consider imposing local restrictions during these festivities and limit mass gatherings in view of rising cases of COVID. With the second COVID-19 wave rising higher and several festivals including Holi around the corner, the Maharashtra government on Friday announced statewide night curfew from Sunday. After a meeting to take stock of the COVID situation, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray said malls should shut by 8 p.m. He cautioned that if COVID safety norms are not followed, the state will be forced to impose stricter restrictions. Currently, shops in Mumbai malls are open till 9:30 p.m. while food courts run till 11 p.m. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will pay an official visit to Tajikistan on the 30th to the 31st of March 2021 at the invitation of Foreign Minister of Tajikistan. During the visit, External Affairs Minister will have discussions with his counterpart covering all aspects of bilateral relations as well as regional and international issues of mutual interest. He will call on President of the Republic of Tajikistan, His Excellency Mr. Emomali Rahmon. He is also expected to meet other Tajik ministers and dignitaries. External Affairs Minister will attend the 9th Ministerial Conference of Heart of Asia, Istanbul process on Afghanistan in Dushanbe on the 30th of March 2021 at the joint invitation of Foreign Ministers of Afghanistan and Tajikistan. He is also expected to meet leaders of other participating countries on the sidelines. An attempt to refloat the stranded container ship blocking the Suez Canal has failed, the ship's technical manager Bernhard Schulte Ship Management said on Friday. The firm said a Dutch rescue team from Schmidt Salvage had confirmed that 2 additional tugs would arrive on March 28th to assist in refloating the ship. Due to the stranded container, ships lined both north and south sides of the Suez Canal on Friday. A specialized dredger that can move 2,000 cubic meters of material per hour arrived on Thursday, and arrangements are being made for high-capacity pumps to reduce water levels in the container ship's forward void and bow thruster room. Democratic Congressman from Texas, Joaquin Castro, led a delegation to the town of Carrizo Springs, Texas, as the Biden administration faces questions on its handling on a rising number of unaccompanied children arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border. Members of the delegation said on Friday they wanted to ensure that the children were being treated with dignity while they waited to be united with family members in the United States. The Biden administration has struggled to house the children arriving without a parent or legal guardian, which has left them stuck in crowded border facilities for days. About 2/3 of unaccompanied children caught at the border since the 1st of October 2020 have been from Guatemala, El Salvador and Honduras, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Mexican children make up most of the remainder. U.S. President Joe Biden weighing executive orders aimed at reducing gun violence following 2 mass shootings, said on Friday. His administration is exploring whether he has the authority to take action on firearms made using 3D printers as well as on imported guns. While Democratic-backed gun control legislation faces an uphill battle in the U.S. Congress because of Republican opposition, Biden could decide to take executive action in certain areas without the approval of lawmakers. Biden, a longtime advocate of gun control measures, including increased background checks on gun buyers and banning assault-style weapons, has publicly committed to taking action following 2 mass shootings that killed a total of 18 people in Georgia and Colorado this month. Hundreds of demonstrators took to the streets of Rio de Janeiro on Friday to reject new lockdown measures in the main part of Brazil's tourist center amid a dramatic increase of COVID-19 infections. Protesters demanded the suspension of the new restrictions and complained about the impact they were having on the restaurant industry. Rio's city government decreed a 10-day lockdown, imposing a lockdown closing shops and schools from March 26 to April 4th to control the spread of coronavirus. Bars and restaurants will be open only for delivery and pickup. Mexico's coronavirus death toll has topped 200,000, making it only the third country in the world to hit the grim milestone, as the vaccination campaign struggling to pick up pace and upcoming holidays fuel fears of a third wave of infections. In order to better protect against a potential new wave of infections, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador said he would tap the armed forces and medical personnel to accelerate the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines. According to the Health Ministry's data, Mexico reported 5,787 new confirmed cases of COVID and 584 more fatalities on Thursday, bringing the total to 2,214,542 infections and 200,211 deaths. Let's now take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. The global case tally for COVID has crossed the 12 crore 66 lakh mark, while there has been over 27 lakh 78,000 deaths due to the virus. The United States continues to remain the worst affected from COVID. The country has reported over 3 crore 8 lakh cases of COVID-19. The deadly virus has claimed 5 lakh 61,000 lives in the US. On to cricket now. In the second ODI in Pune on Friday, England beat India by 6 wickets. The Indian team scored 336 for 6 in their 50 overs against England. Bairstow and Stokes' huge second wicket partnership and useful contributions from Jason Roy and Liam Livingstone helped the visitors level the series 1-all. An Earth Hour will be observed today across the globe for 1 hour between 8:30 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. The lights will be switched off around the world at 8:30 p.m. as the world will observe Earth Hour to mark this hour and draw attention to climate change. Earth Hour is a reminder that the planet, which is home to over 7 billion people, is facing serious challenges due to climate change. The initiative began in Australia in 2007 as a grassroots gesture by the World Wildlife Fund Australia against man-made carbon dioxide emissions linked to a warming planet. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD India. So stay tuned. Namaskar.